There is a saying, no brakes, that can be used to describe both a car and a person. It is widespread. In my story, this phrase took on two meanings at once. There were no brakes. That is why my wife, Angelina, and her car are no longer with me today. There are three hobbies in my life that I am willing to put above everything else: fishing, hunting, and cars. I have a group of like-minded people who share these hobbies: Sergey, Nikita, and Nikolai. Together we head into the woods, deliberately choosing difficult routes to test our cars to the limit, and indulge in muddy adventures while hunting or fishing. I'd met Angelina a little over 3 years ago. She came to the driving school where I was working as an instructor, teaching beginners. When she sat in the training car for the first time, I couldn't help but notice her attractive figure and beautiful facial features. Despite the 5-year age difference, I looked forward to our lessons together. She was making incredible progress, and passing her driving test was only a matter of time. One day, I plucked up the courage to ask her out, and to my delight, she smiled warmly and said yes. Thus began our relationship. A year later, we tied ourselves in marriage, and our wedding was filled with joy and laughter. Naturally, I invited Sergey, Nikita, and Kolya to celebrate with us, with the latter being my best man. A lot had changed in the intervening 3 years, for me, disappointed by my early marriage. Before each outing, there was always a verbal exchange. She would say, "Darling, I'm going with the girls to rest. I won't be gone long. I don't like staying at home." Naturally, I objected, saying, "You're always getting drunk as hell and causing trouble. And we don't have kids, not because we can't, but because you don't want to." Angelina knew I didn't approve, but that didn't stop her. The next day, she would get my approval and set off on her journey. I trusted her and never thought she would betray me. When she returned, there was a persistent odor of alcohol in the apartment. My wife sat on the sofa and suddenly said, "We should change the car. It's too cramped." From time to time, I thought about upgrading the car, but the new expense discouraged me. The arguments became more and more frequent. Angelina began to disappear from home several times a week to return and reignite our quarrels. I began to think about divorce. Despite her young age, I no longer felt any affection for her. My love for my wife was slowly turning into contempt. I wanted to have a happy family with a loving wife and children, not to be constantly faced with a cheating woman in our home. Divorce seemed the only way out. In late July, Angelina disappeared again, this time not returning from a walk. She claimed she had gone out with friends. However, her friends stayed put that night, and she was not found in any hospitals or morgues. It was only 3 days later that I decided to contact the police. Both law enforcement agencies and volunteers were involved in the search for my wife. As a result, Angelina was found a week later with an amateur underwater fisherman. A flooded car with 2 bodies in it was found at the bottom of the river. Along with my wife, my friend Kolya, who was a witness at our wedding, was also there. Strangely enough, both bodies were unclothed and covered in blood. Experts determined that alcohol was present in both of them. It turned out that my wife and her lover had parked the car at the edge of the cliff by the river, but did not engage the handbrake. While they were having an intimate moment, the car began to lurch and eventually plunged into the water. The depth at the riverbank was considerable, so the car quickly submerged into the water. Angelina and Kolya probably didn't have time to react and open the door before the car submerged. That's how my marriage ended. I can only hope it won't be my last. Although I feel sorry for Angelina,